Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing, Inc.
Guatemala now openly lays claim to the whole of Belize, but Belizean officials are not surprised. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Wednesday, November 8th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. The government of Belize says it is not surprised by Guatemala's latest move ahead of a referendum to end a decades-old territorial dispute between the two countries. Guatemala is scheduled to hold a referendum on March 18, 2018, and have begun a public awareness campaign. Reports are that as part of the campaign, Guatemalan authorities have introduced a map showing the whole of Belize as the disputed territory and not the Saskatoon region, as was previously said. Foreign Minister of Belize, Wilfred Elrington, says this is not new information since he's been trying to explain that to the people of Belize for some time now. And he says he hopes that now the Guatemalan claim is more widely known, Belizeans will unite to save their country.
That has always been their position. They have always taken the view that they were claiming the whole of Belize. And I have been at pains to say to the Belizean public that that is the case. Other people have suggested otherwise, but that has always been their position, so nothing has changed. What is important is that we need to now educate our Belizeans to understand, and I hope we can now come together and agree that, in fact, the claim relates to the whole country. You remember there was this controversy about all and any islands and keys and the like, in the formulation of a claim, because we wanted to make sure that the Guatemalans would not be able to come back and claim that, well, we did not deal with a certain area, so we want to go back and litigate on that. So it is good now that Belizeans will see that they are claiming the entire country, and in fact will make their decision based on the fact that we have got to deal with this in a united front.
But former Foreign Affairs Minister Iman Courtney is disappointed in the government's handling of the new development. He says there needs to be more assertive action now to avoid Belizeans rejecting a referendum when it comes around next year.
How can the Foreign Minister, being presented with that question, not say what he is going to do? One, why hasn't a diplomatic protest been sent? Two, why haven't we engaged the OAS, who has superintendence over this process, and saying that is an act of bad faith? Three, why haven't the government of Belize come out immediately with a press statement condemning it to Guatemala and saying it is just wrong? Why have we not galvanized our supporters on the international stage and said this is going in the wrong direction? And I guarantee you that if Guatemala publishes a map like that, the Belizean people are going to reject any referendum held here, and rightly so. But what has the Foreign Minister said? Absolutely nothing.
At the end of the annual CARICOM summit in Grenada in July, regional leaders had expressed the hope that both countries can proceed with the required referendum as early as possible, while reiterating their unflinching support for the sovereignty, territorial integrity, and security of Belize. There are fears in Bermuda that the island's reputation as a financial center could be damaged, as it has once again been labeled a tax haven. The recent release of over 13 million pieces of confidential documents of some of the world's elite, from Appleby, a company founded in Bermuda, continues to take international spotlight. Now, some worry that this new scandal, caused by the release of what is now dubbed the Paradise Papers, could chase away potential international business from the island. We get the details in this report from Hal Davies of ZBM News in Bermuda.
International business is a vital part of Bermuda's economy, accounting for 28% of the island's entire GDP in 2015. One of the key parts of IB is the business activities sector, providing, among other things, legal services, accounting and audit activities. Appleby is one firm providing such services. But Bermuda is now under the spotlight following the release of hacked information from the company. So is there a danger the island could lose its reputation as a good place for international business?
I think that's all we have. Bermuda prides itself on being a squeaky clean offshore jurisdiction. And when something like this happens, it tarnishes the reputation. And again, that's pretty much everything that Bermuda has.
Simmons cites the example of Nike. From 2005 to 2014, the shoe company registered its intellectual property rights for its sneaker brands in Bermuda. Nike's European operations were then charged for the use of those brands, allowing the company to legally shift profits away from Europe and avoid taxes there. From 2010 to 2012, payments of almost $4 billion were made to the Bermudian operation, despite Nike not having an office or staff on the island.
It's coming to light that there's something untoward going on, and Bermudians should be concerned, again, because that's going to could possibly damage our reputation and scare away legitimate business.
In Brussels, meanwhile, European finance ministers have been meeting to discuss possible sanctions against tax havens. They may well include Bermuda and may come into force after next month's meeting of European finance ministers.
Newly appointed Tourism Minister in Antigua and Barbuda, Charles Fernandez, says the Sandals Hotel brand is welcomed in the country despite ongoing public spat between the hotel's management and Prime Minister Gaston Brown. Fernandez, who's attending the World Travel Market in London, says both parties are looking out for their own interests, and he is confident that it will soon be over and a better relationship will emerge.
I think the owner of Sandals is looking out for his shareholders, and the Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda is looking out for his people. So each of them are arguing and would want to put their arguments forward. What I can tell you is, today we had a very good meeting with the people at Sandals. The hotel is going to be open on the 17th of December. The bookings are right up, and we look forward to welcoming them there into Antigua and Barbuda.
The tourism minister's comments follow recent statements by Prime Minister Gaston Brown, in which he claims that Sandals, which operates Sandals Grand Antigua, sought to avoid its tax obligations. CEO of Sandals Resorts International, Adam Stewart, has rubbished Brown's claims, describing them as vicious, sustained and defamatory attacks. The scheduled reopening of the 380-room hotel in December follows 3 months of renovation and essential maintenance work, and Fernandez says the hotel is a brand that is welcomed in the island.
Sandals is a brand, Sandals is a hotel. Sandals has always been welcome in Antigua and Barbuda. At no time has Sandals not been welcome in Antigua and Barbuda. And as I said, we had a very good meeting today, and we are very confident going forward that it's going to be even bigger and better between Sandals and Antigua and Barbuda.
2 months after the British Virgin Islands took a battering from Hurricane Irma, tourism officials say they are open for business. Director of Tourism Sharon Flax Brutus told a news conference at the Caribbean Tourism Organization on Wednesday that the BVI suffered an estimated $3.4 billion from the storm. That's a loss from the storm, and at least half of the room stock was damaged. She added that the tourism industry is now focused on the recovery process.
Welcoming guests back to the BVI on November 1st. As the sailing capital of the world, it is our yachting sector that is forced to open for business, and that is evident in the videos that we just showed you. In fact, yesterday's began the start of our Charter Yacht Society boat show, which we're hosting yacht brokers who sell vacations in the BVI. Anegada, which is the one island in the BVI that's coral formation, was actually spared the brunt of the storm. and we will be hosting our 5th annual Anegada Lobster Fest on the weekend of November 25th.
Still to come in Caribbean Newsline, Jamaica Prime Minister wants parliamentary debate on ending corporal punishment for all. Stay with us, there's more news after the break.
To the gem of the Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda.
A warm welcome awaits you at our state-of-the-art VC Bird International Airport.
I must say that Antigua is in wonderful shape. 5 minutes off the boat and we're already in paradise.
Antigua was not that damaged by the storm as much as Barbuda was. The hotels are still open, the beaches are still clean, and the people are still friendly.
With Antigua, it's the people that really await you.
Hurricane Irma may have hit a little bit, but you can't even tell that it was ever here. The beach is wonderful. I'm having a great time.
Everything is just as we remember. No storm damage.
We're here and we're open. And we're better than ever.
I do a lot of destination weddings, and I see weddings that could happen here, and they would be in love with it.
I can't say enough about how in love with Antigua I am.
It is one nation, two islands, and I'm loving it.
Do you want a real Barbadian experience with peace and tranquility? A home away from home feeling? Come and stay at Best E Villas. We offer 2 amazing locations to choose from, Prospect St. James or Christchurch. Plan a staycation for your anniversary, birthdays, summer or winter breaks, or any special event. Best E Villas is located in close proximity to our lovely beaches. Call us now at 246-425-9751 or visit us at bestevillas.com and make your booking for the best in villas.
My focus is immigration. I've been criticized for it a little bit, but I feel a passion for people who've already been deported from the United States and they're helpless. Some of them have no way of, really living the life that they've lived. They've left families behind, children. And so my goal is to try to do whatever I can to do them. So since as early as 2008, I started working with deportees. And I came down.
Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness says it is time for a parliamentary debate on ending corporal punishment. In his contribution to the 2017 budget debate earlier this year, Holness announced that the government would amend the Education Act to prohibit corporal punishment in schools. But speaking in Parliament on Tuesday afternoon, Holness said it is time to consider removing corporal punishment as an option for discipline altogether. We get more in this report from Andrea Krisham of TVJ, TVJ News in Jamaica.
Consider this. Every 7 minutes, a teenager is killed by an act of violence somewhere in the world. That's according to UNICEF's report called A Familiar Face, Violence in the Lives of Children. In Jamaica, UNICEF says police statistics show a 36% increase in the murder of children. 47 children have been murdered up to October 21 this year, compared to 32 for the same period last year. The report also noted that 8 out of 10 children ages 2 to 14 experience some form of violent discipline. It's statistics like those that prompted the Prime Minister to call for a change in how children are disciplined. Andrew Holness wants Parliament to consider banning the beating of children and adults, period.
While it is not a consensus across the aisle or even a consensus within the political parties about banning corporal punishment totally in the country, I wish to declare that I am totally against corporal punishment, and that I believe that the time has come for the Parliament to have a debate on this issue and finally declare corporal punishment at an end, both within public institutions and as a means of discipline available to parents.
And just in case that was not clear,
all institutions and the homes. I think that is where we really should go.
Mr. Holness believes it would send a strong message that violence is not a good way to solve problems. Member of Parliament for Central Kingston Ronald Thwaites weighed in on the matter.
There is a great deal that we will have to clear up in this country regarding the abuse to all manner of human persons who are vulnerable and who are in a weak state. And we look forward and indeed encourage the debate on the particular aspect regarding corporal punishment, which the Prime Minister has indicated.
Mr. Thwaites and the Prime Minister were underscoring Jamaica's commitment to the 17 Sustainable Development Goals outlined by the United Nations. They include no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education and gender equality.
Trinidad and Tobago and the United Kingdom are joining forces in the fight against terrorism. A memorandum of understanding was signed between the two countries at the Ministry of National Security on Tuesday. National Security Minister Edmund Dillon says this will enable the countries to exchange intelligence at the top level. We get the details in this report from Ian Wasson of C News.
The National Security Minister says the MOU is just a continuation of a relationship this country has had with the UK, dating back to the 18th century when the British took over rule from Spain. He says the MOU will allow for an exchange of information at a high level.
For example, we know that anecdotally there are a number of Trinidad and Tobago citizens abroad. How do we verify that? It's really by through high-level discussion and information intelligence sharing. And we get a specific confirmation or verification that they are in fact Trinidad and Tobago citizens through our international partners, in this case the United Kingdom and to some extent the United States.
Lord Ahmad of Wimbledon, who is the Minister of State for the Commonwealth and the United Nations in the UK government, stressed the importance of countries working together.
That global terrorism is evolving and the threat is ever evolving. In terms of what's happened on the streets of the United Kingdom, in Manchester, as the Minister alluded to, and in London, we are very cognizant, as we all should be, that the terrorists will use any instrument. The other thing they now use is, there used to be something called the sanctity of your own life. They don't care much for that either.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines Teachers Union say it is still taking the government to court despite a decision to begin paying salaries owed to an estimated 100 teachers. In his Independence Day address on October 27, Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves announced that at least 100 graduate teachers who have been waiting for up to 5 years to be appointed to that level will be paid graduate teacher salaries as of January 1st, 2018. But the union's industrial relations officer, Otto Sam, says they will still take the government to court over payment for teachers who have retired without being appointed to graduate positions.
Society. So they know that members are being interviewed by us and interviewed by the lawyer. And witness statements are being prepared and what have you. So, and we, in fact, just last week, out of interviews and interaction, some affidavits will start to be shaped and sent to the General Secretary, to the lawyer, to the union's attorney to move to court. So as a result of that, you have the state jumping, being forced to jump. And if teachers are not mindful, it says, well, it's not the union, it's me.
Sam says what has transpired is the government finally fully complying with Article 26(2) and Article 27(3), which state that an employee shall be appointed to a position commensurate with their qualification within reasonable time of the completion of their studies, providing that the Ministry of Education has approved such studies. He said the union will also go to court over the government's failure to pay an annual 1,000 EC dollars allowance to teachers who work in special education. Sam added that he was encouraging members to have faith in the union and not be fooled by the government's recent announcements.
So everything the workers get, be it duty allowance, be it clothing allowance, be it appointments, it is because of this union, not because of Otto Sam, not because of Oswald Robinson. Oswald Robinson's leadership might help to be more focused, but it is because of this union. And so the union is relevant, will remain relevant, and teachers must be formed with their union, stand by their union, so that the union can deliver more.
And ahead in Newsline Sports, Shimron Hetmeyer 100 headlines the Windies tour match against Northern Suburb District's Invitational 11. Stay with us. Sport is next.
Do you want a real Barbadian experience with peace and tranquility? A home away from home feeling? Come and stay at Best E Villas. We offer 2 amazing locations to choose from, Prospect St. James or Christchurch. Plan a staycation for your anniversary, birthdays, summer or winter breaks, or any special event. Best E Villas is located in close proximity to our lovely beaches. Call us now at 246-425-9751 or visit us at bestevillas.com and make your booking for the best in villas.
In a place where legends start, the beach is just the beginning. So live a little for the exhilaration and the color of every moment, where time is and life is a spirited event. Immerse yourself in the culture, the music, the people, the island. Love Antigua and Barbuda. Embrace an experience that leaves you breathless, from cricket to sailing week to carnival and more. Antigua and Barbuda, the beach is just the beginning.
This month, Caribbean Passport is on location in Pure Grenada as tourism experts and industry leaders meet to discuss the latest trends at the 2017 State of the Industry Conference.
Tourism is the quickest way to impact people's lives. You get a foreign visitor on the ground, dollars go into your pocket. So that is why it was so important to have this conference.
See it all on this channel.
Rookie Shimron Hetmeyer continued to press his case for a return to the Test team with another whirlwind 100 on the opening day of a 2-day tour match against Northern Suburb District's Invitational 11 on Wednesday. The 20-year-old left-hander smashed 119 as West Indies piled up 352 for 8 at the Ian Healy Oval. Hetmeyer made his Test debut against Pakistan earlier this year, playing 3 tests with little success. He gave tour selectors a reminder of his immense talent on the tour of England when he smashed an unbeaten 128 of 120 balls in a drawn 2-day tour match against Leicester last September. When Hetmeyer retired, Captain Jason Holder stroked 5 fours and a 6 in a 56-ball knock, and Raymond Reefer an unbeaten 20 off 73 balls as West Indies ended strongly. Kieran Powell scored 65 and opening partner Craig Brathwaite got 43. Seamer Andrew Goode was the best bowler with 2 for 57. In women's football, host Trinidad and Tobago avoided giants United States and Mexico when they were drawn in Group A for next year's CONCACAF Women's Under-20 Championship. In the draw staged at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Port of Spain on Tuesday, TNT found themselves pitted with the likes of Costa Rica, Canada, and a yet-to-be-named Caribbean qualifier. Group B features the U.S. and Mexico along with Nicaragua, with another Caribbean qualifier set to join the trio. United States are 4 times defending champions, having won the tournament 2 years ago in Honduras. Overall, the U.S. have won the title 5 times. The championship, which runs from January 18 to 28, will feature 16 matches, with all scheduled for the Otto Boulden Stadium in central Trinidad. It will also serve as a qualifier for next year's FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in France, that's with the top 3 teams earning direct qualification. Now, in the men's football, goalkeeper Greg Ranjitsingh has declined a call-up for Trinidad and Tobago's 2 upcoming international friendlies against Grenada and Guyana in order to make himself available for Louisville City FC's United Soccer League Cup final against Swope Park Rangers next Monday. TNT take on Grenada next Saturday and Guyana 3 days later in 2 international friendlies at the Otto Boulden Stadium, but Ranjitsingh has opted to help Louisville in their quest to win the USL NSL title, especially following his heroics in last weekend's dramatic semi-final. Louisville City FC head coach James O'Connor says he was thrilled with Ranjit Singh's presence for the key game. Ranjit Singh was outstanding in the Eastern Conference final against New York Red Bulls 2, coming up with 2 massive saves in the penalty shootout to help Louisville to a 4-3 victory after scores were locked 1-1 at full time. He has spent the last 2 seasons at Louisville, becoming the club's first choice keeper last year, May. Over to hockey. Guyana's national hockey team managed a draw against Puerto Rico as action in the Central American and Caribbean qualifiers continue in Jamaica. Both teams are vying for a spot for the 2018 CAC Games in Colombia. We get more in this report from HGP TV.
Guyana female hockey team drew 0-0 in their second encounter of the CAC Games qualifiers against Puerto Rico at the UWI Mona campus in Jamaica. The game, being played in the blistering midday Jamaica sun, started off a bit shaky for the Guyanese, as their deep defenders and midfielders create several unforced errors. Puerto Rico seemed the more threatening team in the opening minutes as a result, but good recovery defending by Guyana, and especially defending stalwart Charlon, kept the Puerto Ricans from testing Garden in the goal. With the scores remained tied at the half, both teams had enjoyed their share of possession, with Guyana opting for short build-ups, while Puerto Rico went for direct long pass in the Guyana defense area. The second half saw a continuation of an even battle, although the needle edged ever so slightly in Guyana's favor. Gabrielle Javier came the closest to scoring, but missed her shot just a few feet away from the goal line. Second position in the pool behind host Jamaica with 3 matches remaining. Both the men and women will be in action on Wednesday, 8th of November, with the national ladies versus Jamaica women at 12:30, and then the national men versus Guatemala men at 14:30 hours.
Meanwhile, the Bermuda girls handed Guatemala a 4-0 drubbing in their second round clash of the CAC Hockey Championships. Earl Bainstein of ZBM Sports tells us more.
The CAC hockey qualifiers saw Bermuda pick up a 4-0 win over Guatemala. Bermuda took control of the game and went ahead in the 12th minute through a strike from Jasmine Patterson. Patterson found herself on the end of her own missed penalty stroke and took her second chance graciously. Bermuda doubled the lead in the 39th minute through Selena Witter. There was 2 quick goals in the 50th and 51st minutes off the sticks of Keisha Robinson and Krista Smith. Bermuda now joins Guyana in second position on 4 points, but trailed the Guyanese with an inferior goal difference. Bermuda captain Lakay Tavares was happy with the team's overall performance.
It was a very important game for us. Yesterday we did start off a bit slow. There was a lot of anxiety and nerves. We were a little disorganized. A lot of our players are very young, and this is the first international competition, so it was a lot of getting used to the pitch and playing together as a team. But I think the outcome today shows that we're willing to work hard and compete and follow through and get results.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Caribbean Newsline is brought to you by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc.
Join us from November 16th to 19th, 2017 for the Barbados Food and Rum Festival, where acclaimed Barbadian chefs and mixologists are joined by Chef Jean-Georges of the U.S., Chef Tom Akins of the U.K., Chef Chris De La Rosa of Canada, to create dining experiences to delight the senses. Visit GoingPlacesTravel.com to book your packages and visit www.foodandrum.com for more information.
Grow your business or promote your event through the services offered by the Caribbean Media Corporation and CaribVision. Our distribution provides a platform on cable, terrestrial television, and websites. We cover carnivals and events from across the region. We can bring your event live and alive to the world. For music makers, program producers, businesses, we can expand your reach to in excess of 2 million households daily. Our other services include news updates to enhance your media products, studio space for program and development. We can facilitate the launch of new products and services and training. Contact us and we will help you unleash your creative ability, develop products and services, and provide the medium to watch them grow. Contact Loretta Skeet at cmccaribbean.com or call her 1-246-467-1044 or 1-246-253-30 3889. Call and book your carnival or event today. And again, the major developments of this day: Guatemala openly lays claim to the whole of Belize ahead of a March referendum. And while Belizean officials say they're not surprised, the opposition is disappointed that government is not doing more to stop Guatemala. That's Caribbean Newsline. Join us again tomorrow evening, same time, same place. Have yourselves a good evening.